What studying here helped me with was to specify what I wanted to do after graduating, and by year 3 I knew that I wanted to work in music publishing, and I was focused on that. I did my final project around music publishing and the future of music publishing, which got me a job afterwards.
Through the uni, you'll get, I'd say, take any opportunity that you have. So I worked for Standard and Calling, and I know that they came here, and I know a few of you have been working with that as well. And amazingly, through the course, managed to work at the Olympics.
Many of our interns have gone on to be offered jobs at IMG Artists. Quite a few are now artist managers. So they've come in as interns. A job has come up as an assistant. They have then worked their way up and gone from assistant to senior assistant to then artist manager, and are now very successful in what they do. And it all started from carrying out an internship.
So I started out originally ripping tickets on the door at our tents, and then eventually sort of, again, pestered and got to know everyone in the company, and slowly sort of worked my way up to being sort of front of house manager, box office manager, and then sort of doing the odd bit of temporary work in the office until eventually they gave me a full-time job. So that's kind of my route into Underbelly.
One thing I would say to a lot of you, people say, I don't know, you probably experience people saying, master one thing, master one thing. Well, that never worked for me, because I was always interested in so many different fields. I wanted to know how that worked, how this side worked, how that side worked, so that whenever I'm organising something, I can wear the hat of whoever's sitting in whichever position, or whoever's operating anything, and that way I'm able to communicate what I want to them very clearly, because I've quite literally done it. So that was my approach, and that might not work for everyone.
But have an end point of where you want to be, and know where you want to go, and kind of just say, like, I want to work at Radio 1, and write that down, and then just work out all the steps towards that.
I would say, if you aren't doing a student placement or internship, do one. Because it's so different, I think, now than what it was, say, 10 years ago. There were more opportunities for graduates 10 years ago than what there are now. I think the competition is just, there's so much of it. And really, when I'm looking at CVs, when people come for job interviews, yeah, it's great seeing that they have a good degree, but actually I look at the experience they have. So when we're looking to recruit assistants, I look primarily at their job experiences. So even if it's just voluntary work, carrying out unpaid internships, student placements, that's primarily what I look at, and then I look at the degree after.
Just get as much sort of bitty experience as you can, and just eventually try and somehow pull that together to show your skills.
I think be early to wherever you need to go, like meetings or interviews or shadowing, because successful people generally are early, and if you're late, you don't really get a second chance.
I suppose the top tip is to throw it in is keep learning, because now I still have to look at, where we're going to be in the next year, 3 years, our markets, what our challenges are in our industry, how that relates to other industries. There's a lot of stuff with music that's happening with gaming now, so how we can utilise that, get artists in on some of our games, use their music in our trailers.
And I guess negotiate rights.
Yeah.
Do your research and surprise people with what you know.
Keep asking questions. Just want to know more.
To be positive. It's nice to see happy, positive interns.
What I would say to all of you is this: when you graduate, do not think you're here at university for a university degree to provide you a job out there. That does not exist. You have to, quite literally, hustle your way. So if you're in your first year, I would expect any first year student right now to be doing some kind of internship or doing something that is earning them money, because the game has completely changed. There are so many graduates out there. And most of us here, as much as we would look at your qualification, and some of us who do have those qualifications, great. What can you do? And if you don't have no unique selling points for yourself, then you need to now start grafting them.
So Lynn, why do you think the creative industries are important these days?
I think it's a good way of coming together, like having different cultures coming together, because it's something that everyone has in common. Music, theatre and dance and art is something that, yeah, you can find in any culture.
And Sarah, why did you decide to come on this course? What was your reasoning?
Well, basically, the culture is a lot more like rich in London than back in Switzerland, where there are a lot, fewer opportunities. And such a BA doesn't even exist back in Switzerland.
So what advice might you give a prospective student who's considering a career in the creative industries?
I would say make up your mind in terms of what you want to do, because it's such a wide term, creative industries. I mean, what industry do you want to work in? Live, radio?
So decide exactly which industry you want to be in, be it music or be it fashion or whatever.
And focus on that and learn about the industry as much as you can.
Decide what you want to do first, which is always a good start, and then just really work hard at what you want to do and just, be passionate about it. It's all the kind of cliched things, but it's true. Like, work hard, be passionate, get to know people, build good relationships, because you'll always come back to them. Pester them politely, but it does eventually work. Also do your own work and show them how good you are. And
so build up your portfolio, get things going on your own back.
Build up that, and just show initiative, all the kind of things which you expect you need to do, you should be doing.
So why did you choose to come on this course?
I chose this course because I was always playing music as growing up. I got organised my first gig when I was 16.
Nice.
I used to do it like every weekend, and I played in a couple of bands, and I was in university in Ireland, and it was kind of like a very kind of a focused kind of course I was doing. So on my spare time I was just playing music and organising gigs. So I said, the same as like we're speaking to today, why don't you just get the educational background to kind of pin it down.
Any advice before they choose which course they want?
Choose with your heart. It's actually, that's sort of the most important, because you want to be able to actually do this for 3 years. You want to be able to
You need to succeed with something you want to do.
Yeah. It's all about passion in the end. You don't want to waste your years on an education that you don't want to work with in the future just because you thought it would be better than what you're actually interested in.
Amazing, thank you.
The open days are always useful, like to get to know the lecturers even before starting the course.
Before you come in. So go to the open days.
Yeah, go to the open days.
The nice thing about this course is that it gives you a kind of a general overview. There's a lot of different things you learn about. You learn about film, TV, well, in certain, you touch on them. Film, TV, music, and you get a little bit of, just a
little bit of everything in there, sort of mixes it up and
a little bit of something you can get your teeth into, and then you can take it from there what you want to do with it later in life. So I think it teaches you some fantastic skills, this one.